What do people learn too late? To protect their ears. You don't want to live with tinnitus for the rest of your life because you were exposed to a loud noise once. Learned this one too late. I can ignore it most of the time, but some nights. Setting and respecting boundaries. How to give a genuine apology, and other such communication 101 skills. Take care of your teeth. That salary amount is not the entirety of an equation when deciding where to work. You have to take into account the cost of living, commute times, the safety of the nearby area, and the convenience of living in the area. Studies have shown that taking a 20-minute longer commute is as bad for your job satisfaction as a 19% pay cut. On top of that, wealth money in, money out. If a new job pays 20k more, but if rent/property prices are 30k more per year, you are taking a pay cut. On top of that, you have to consider your future. Do you have to move to an undesirable location to work there? Crammed in a little apartment where the nearest services are an hour away? What about air quality? What about noise levels? Is this a place where you want to start a family and raise kids? All of those play a factor in determining the desirability of a job. I'm a firm believer that my job doesn't exist outside this city as a Smith. Even if you're a super specialized rocket scientist with a PhD in orbital dynamics, NASA is not the only organization with a job opening for you. There are many more factors to that. Is this a job you really like? If you are making more money, but hate the job, is it really worth it? You are spending most of your day and your life at that place. If that part of your life sucks, it will affect your mood and happiness a lot. And close to that, the work atmosphere. Are you getting along with your colleagues? Is your boss a decent person? The social part plays a big role and is often ignored. The importance of writing skills for formal contexts. Writing is an important skill in nearly any field, and the more a career advances, the more important it becomes. The lack of adequate writing skill often holds back a career. Yet many people squander their opportunities to learn writing because they think their class assignments are empty busy work, and they figure their skills in spoken English and informal text messages will carry over when they need to write for work. How dangerous driving a car can be. This is very true. I survived 2 car accidents without any scratch in 3 months. Drive safe, and remember, just because you have priority way, it doesn't mean that they will give it to you. Pay attention. Sometimes letting go of your priority is the way to avoid an accident. Edit. By priority way I meant right of way. I didn't know how was it called in English, so I written how I would say it in my language. Letting an idiot having his way is preferable to getting into an accident with said idiot, no matter how well you are within your rights. And also know that one day, that idiot will be you, because you lost focus, as humans tend to do once in a while. That the cliche "you never know when it's the last time you'll see" to someone should absolutely be remembered for every occasion. My best friend Josh died in a car accident this past Saturday, and the last time I saw him, we got in an argument, and he left, and we didn't speak after that. I'm destroyed by it. Edit. Thank you all so much for the support, and for the awards. I do have a great support circle outside of this, but all these replies and condolences really shows the empathy complete strangers can have. My grandpa passed away 2 weeks ago from cancer. We flew to Saskatchewan where he lives and managed to see him. I talked with him and gave him a hug. Before we left, I had the feeling that I was never seeing him again. I snuck back into the room and gave him one last hug and told him that I will miss him. He died 6 hours later. I'm so grateful for whatever it was that told me to see him one last time before we went home. I'm so grateful you got that. My little brother passed this last Saturday, and I will also be forever grateful for the feeling to tell him I love him when I saw him last. I wish I paid more attention to that feeling and asked him not to go out that night. What not to share on the internet. I'm so grateful that my party years of 23 occurred in a pre-camera phone era. Amen to that. My misspaced pics are embarrassing enough. I'm glad I don't come across cringe-worthy pics of myself in skinny scarves and leg warmers. Lol. I lived in as. Why on earth did I wear those things in 120-degree heat? Not to mention my emo phase shudder. Those can stay in the family photo albums. How to manage their finances. Lesson 1. 1,000 is not a lot to have, but it's a lot to owe. Lesson 2. It's much easier to blow 100 than it is to make 100. Lesson 3. Even if it's just 10, it makes a difference on how you spend or save it. That you might be wrong sometimes. Some never learn. Edit. Change they to you. I've discovered that my nature is to never accept that I'm wrong. I will give excuses, argue, but not accept. I've made it a resolution this year to just accept it when I'm wrong. In Western cultures, if you admit that you're wrong when you actually are, and ask how you can do better next time, and then do it, people will be a lot more impressed than if you're the guy who is never wrong. Honestly, yeah. Never being wrong is a party trick. Being a good person shows commitment and the ability for growth. Far more impressive. That happiness usually comes from a diverse range of interests, hobbies, and commitments. You are not your job. Your romantic partner cannot be your everything, etc. It's so easy to get sucked into a life where your career is everything, or where you wrap your entire identity around your partner. There is nothing wrong with celebrating your loved ones and being close. And there is nothing wrong with caring about your just need more to thrive. I see this so often in relationships. Two people meet and fall in love. They each inspire one another based on their interests and achievements. It's part of what makes them fall in love. But slowly, over time, they let those hobbies go. Stress gets in the way. Bills pile up. And then one day they find themselves wondering why they ever loved this person in the first place. Instead of being sexy and interesting, they are just part of a routine. TLDR. Diversify your interests and activities to be happy. Don't rely on a single person, hobby, or commitment to give you everything you need. Weave the tapestry of your life with many threads. Frasier. Ah, yes, but you added, make sure to weave the pattern that pleases you most. Oh man, that was the episode with Bill Gates. To lol. Sitting on your ass all day is not good for your health at all. Rolls over onto stomach instead. Now you listen here, you little ps. That mental and emotional ps are a real thing. Red flags. Sadly, if you grow up around that kind of behavior, you tend to believe that it's normal. Somebody I went to school with got mentally ps by his parents so much, and always used to get punished severely for poor grades. He was also denied basic freedoms though. Even when he became an adult, he still wasn't allowed to go down to the local fish and chip shop without parental supervision, or go for a pint in the pub. He was also never taught basic life skills too. He's in his early 20s and is quite emotionally stunted to say the least. In fact, you'd think he was a teenager if you met him. The sad thing is, he doesn't recognize his parents are mentally abusing him. When he described his parents to me once, that's ps. His response was, they don't hit me, so it's not ps. At least with physical ps it's more universally seen as wrong, but mental ps tends to be more subtle and it can be a real ps. Edit. I should mention, he wasn't from India by the way. He was from the UK, which is what made it more odd in my opinion. British families are not normally known for being this strict. I met his parents very briefly once, and they just felt off. I wasn't sure if they were mentally well, to be honest. One of my friend's parents called CPS to their home once, but because there were no signs of physical ps, CPS didn't bother anymore. That no is a complete sentence. Don't get in the habit of auto-launching explanations and defenses. Oftentimes, the people listening will ignore all that anyway and just hear, but here's an opportunity to dissuade me. Look how hard I'm working to get your approval, to say no to you. What do I do when every time I say no I'm being told I have to reply with more words? Depends on the situation, obviously, but no thanks. I said no. I don't owe you a reason / an explanation. No, I really don't want to / have the time / energy / money / whatever to do that. Stop asking. I've already answered. The value of a good / unconditional friend. Had the same best friend since I was 2. Don't know where I'd be without her. Me too. We are nearly 30. She's more like a sister at this point. We are really close and speak most days. Our kids are the same age as well. She's always got my back. She's kind, honest and loyal, and not afraid to tell me when I'm up. I couldn't be without her. Wish I had a best friend like some of the people commenting here. Take well care of them, guys. That some things can never be undone. The actions you take and the words you speak will come back around sooner or later. Yes, some words can never be taken back. I learned the hard way. This is why it's better to train yourself to think carefully before saying something. I didn't do that because I wanted everything to come naturally, but I realized that's just an excuse I used to avoid taking responsibility of things I said. Edit. I saw the replies and I understand the problems you guys mentioned. What I said is assuming that the other person appreciates honesty and is open-minded, because some people won't understand regardless of what you say. It's best to avoid speaking with these people if possible, unless you have to. Things can become toxic pretty easily. Regardless, thinking carefully, it's the situation, and choosing your words carefully is an important life skill to have and will definitely help you in the future. It can be pretty tiring to always have to think before you say something, but it's all a matter of practice. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Best tip is to wait 10 seconds before speaking, and do not let anger speak for you. Simple misunderstandings and emotions like anger ruin relationships. Try to cool off before making rash decisions. Putting effort is what's important. Results are bonuses. Edit 2. Small misunderstandings can ruin closest relationships. I'm not forbidding you guys to be what you are or always be the one to compromise. What I meant to say is that don't give in to anger and pride and let it make rash decisions for you. I have hurt my loved ones more than once, only to regret it later. I know how confusing and hard it can become. Just do your best to maintain inner peace. If the other person is being unreasonable, it's totally out of your hands. What matters is you did your part and you put in the effort because you value the relationship more than winning an argument. And sometimes you have to let go and forgive, even if you were right. Because no one lives forever, and life is too short to be having fights. You don't have to agree with me, just having different perspectives can be beneficial. This resonates with me so much. Words, man, they can hurt. The stronger your bond is with someone, the more their words should make you feel. I don't care if some stranger is telling me how stupid or ugly I am, but if one of my brothers or sisters said that, I would be crushed. This is a reason why bad parents camps up their children for decades. How to communicate. Not communicating with my wife almost destroyed my marriage. I'm finally learning to tell my wife how I feel. Took me years to learn to suck it up, admit I was wrong, and apologize. Feels so natural to me now to apologize to my husband when I'm being an ps. I don't know what the appeal was to just dig my heels in and escalate, but it's really nice now. Fights last all of 5 minutes, if we even bother getting to that point. I apologized to my sister once, and she got all weirded out. Guess I know where it came from, lol. Still don't do it on the internet. Baby steps. Mistakes have consequences. Sometimes they are huge consequences, such as a mistake while driving could kill yourself or someone else. Sometimes they are little consequences, but always learn from your mistakes, and that you should always be learning and improving yourself. Can you milk me, Foka? Do you have nipples? The value of walking away from someone toxic in your life, even if it is your parents and family. If you are thinking of it and are scared and have somewhere where you can land in a safe place, then do it. It hurts like hell for a long while, but it gets better, and one day you realize how peaceful your life is, and you find you only miss the family you wish you had had. Yes. Also, find a support net, but for your own sanity, just avoid the topic with people who are curious. Not many people understand and will try to talk you into making up with your family. It's so hard in the beginning, but it gets much easier. You find your own people, create your own families, and your own peace. That it's never too late to learn. You really whipped out the reverse there. That most people will just help you, how and if they can, if you are honest with them. It seems like so many people feel the need to conceal what they actually want from you, and try to get it by presenting a half-truth or what they think you want to hear instead of just being straightforward. I can vouch for this. I know my parents loved me, but they sort of messed up bad with this one by making me feel like I could never directly approach them about anything I needed help on without also being vulnerable to them possibly being upset with me just for asking. I'd have to figure out a way to ask without asking or making up close to truth lies. Never felt good about those. This eventually led to me never reaching out when I needed help, and it took me years after moving out to be able to confront this problem just on an emotional level. If it hadn't been for some really incredible friends, I'd probably still be struggling with this.